Doris Day, born Doris Mary Ann Kappelhoff on April 3, 1922 in Cincinnati, Ohio, grew up in a modest household during the Great Depression. From a young age, she dreamed of being a dancer, winning local competitions with her talent and dedication. A serious car accident ended that dream, but during her recovery, Doris discovered a remarkable gift: her singing voice. Encouraged by friends and family, she performed with local bands and adopted the stage name Day, inspired by her rendition of Day After Day. Her breakthrough came in the mid-1940s with Les Brown's orchestra and the hit Sentimental Journey, which became an anthem for returning World War II soldiers. Doris's warm, sincere voice struck a chord with audiences, embodying comfort and hope at a pivotal time in American history. Hollywood noticed, and in 1948 she debuted in Romance on the High Seas, quickly becoming a major star. Her natural beauty, sincerity, and effortless comic timing made her relatable and beloved. In the 1950s, Doris excelled in both comedic and dramatic roles. Love Me or Leave Me, 1955, showcased her emotional depth, while The Man Who Knew Too Much, 1956, gave the world her iconic Que Sera, Sarah, a song of hope and acceptance that became her signature. By the late 1950s and early 1960s, Doris Day had firmly established herself as a romantic comedy icon, especially through her beloved on-screen partnerships with Rock Hudson. Films like Pillow Talk, 1959, Lover Come Back, 1961, and Send Me No Flowers, 1964, defined an era of sophisticated, playful Hollywood romance. Her sharp wit, impeccable timing, and subtle challenge to gender norms gave her characters independence and charm beyond the typical girl-next-door roles. Off-screen, Doris was also a musical powerhouse. She recorded hundreds of songs across pop, jazz, and standards, becoming one of the best-selling female artists of all time. Her voice, pure, expressive, and emotionally honest, allowed her music to endure far beyond changing trends, whether in tender ballads or upbeat novelty tunes. Doris's personal life, like her career, was marked by devotion and heartbreak. Her first marriage, to trombonist Al Jordan in 1941, brought a son, Terry, but also abuse and instability, leading her to leave the marriage in 1943. Her second marriage, to saxophonist George Weidler in 1946, struggled under the pressures of her rising fame and ended quietly in 1949. Her third marriage, to Martin Melcher in 1951, was both professionally and personally significant. Melcher adopted her son and produced many of her most successful films, shaping her image as America's sweetheart. However, the 17-year marriage was later revealed to involve control and financial mismanagement. Melcher's death in 1968 left Doris confronting the full impact of years of mismanaged finances, even as she emerged as one of Hollywood's most enduring stars. Despite setbacks, Doris Day never lost her belief in love. In 1976, she married restaurateur Barry Comden, seeking companionship away from Hollywood's relentless spotlight, but the marriage ended in 1981. Across 4 unions, she experienced love, loss, and betrayal, yet emerged defined not by heartbreak, but by her strength, devotion to her son, and grace in facing life's challenge. For decades, Doris and Rock Hudson were Hollywood's ultimate romantic duo. On-screen in Pillow Talk, Lover Come Back, and Send Me No Flowers, they embodied charm, chemistry, and playful romance. Yet behind the studio-crafted illusion, Doris's feelings were more complicated, marked by disappointment, anger, and a deep sense of betrayal she rarely voiced publicly. Known for her warmth, discipline, and professionalism, Doris valued honesty above all. "I believed in being straightforward. If you didn't have that, you didn't have much," she said. That belief made her eventual break with Hudson so painful. Despite their flawless on-screen chemistry, Doris came to feel their friendship had been built on deception. At the time of filming, she was unaware Hudson was gay, a fact carefully hidden by the studio. When the truth emerged years later, she was shaken, not by his sexuality, but by the betrayal. "It wasn't what he was," she later explained. It was that everyone knew but me. Doris felt manipulated, used as a prop in a lie designed to protect the studio's investment. The betrayal cut deeper because Hudson was more than a co-star. He was someone she trusted. We spent years laughing, rehearsing, working side by side. I thought there was honesty between us, she admitted. Discovering that the romance sold to the public was knowingly false violated her integrity. Over time, as the public continued to romanticize their partnership, people talked about us as if it were real, Doris once remarked, and I had to smile along with it, knowing it wasn't. That forced silence, demanded by the studio system, became its own form of cruelty. Protected by the system, Hudson never faced the consequences of the deception, while Doris carried the emotional weight. When Hudson revealed his AIDS diagnosis in the 1980s, Doris responded with compassion, supporting research and relief efforts, but she did not rewrite history. "I was sorry for him," she said quietly, but that didn't erase what happened. To her, sympathy did not mean forgetting. "I felt foolish," she admitted, "and I don't like being made a fool of." Her anger wasn't simple hatred. It came from broken trust and the realization that a cherished professional partnership had been built on secrets she never agreed to keep. Despite Hollywood's desire to immortalize them as the perfect pair, Doris refused to romanticize the truth. "What you saw on screen wasn't my life," she said firmly. Ultimately, her harshest judgment was reserved not only for Hudson, but for the system that encouraged lies and demanded silence. Yet she lived long enough to tell her story on her own terms, preserving her integrity and reclaiming her narrative. While history may remember Doris Day and Rock Hudson as cinematic soulmates, her words remind us that behind the smiles was a woman who felt deeply wronged and never fully forgave it. Doris passed away peacefully on May 13, 2019, at her beloved home in Carmel Valley, California, at the remarkable age of 97. Pneumonia claimed her life, a quiet ending for someone whose years were filled with music, laughter, grace, and an unwavering spirit. The Doris Day Animal Foundation, which she founded and nurtured for decades, shared the news, reflecting her lifelong compassion and advocacy for animals. True to her wishes, there were no funerals, grave markers, or public memorials. Doris preferred simplicity and privacy, asking that her life be remembered not through ceremonies, but through the joy she brought to millions, her kindness to animals, and the timeless work she left behind. Though there were no public gatherings, the world mourned her in its own way, through her films, songs, and heartfelt tributes from fans and fellow artists. Her legacy required no monuments. It lives on in the warmth of her performances, the purity of her voice, and the compassion that defined her later years. Doris Day's passing was not an ending, but a gentle farewell from an icon whose presence continues to resonate, reminding generations of a time when optimism, sincerity, and grace shone bright. If you enjoy classic Hollywood stories, timeless glamour, and legendary stars, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Share your favorite old Hollywood icon in the comments, or tell us who you'd love to see featured next. Turn on notifications so you never miss a new deep dive into Hollywood's golden age.